All right, guys, we've landed in Europe. Very flat this morning, even though scale weight is up. Just some fluid that needs to be dropped off by the end of this week. So loading starts today. That means that we're going to move up to 2,800 calories from whatever we were at before. They don't have bison here, so we're just doing beef mince, which is basically just ground beef, 5% fat. And you guys know that from the Washington video, we have a tendency to buy rice cookers and just leave them wherever we stay. So whoever hosts us gets a free rice cooker. And we got Alex with me, my mom, and her mom. Just because Alex and her mom are going to do their own thing while I do my own thing. It's just best to keep it that way. Because we have different goals while we're on this trip. They're going to go for more leisure, vacation, and obviously to support me. For me, it's just doing what I need to do, just relaxing. It's been a pretty crazy travel so far. I didn't have 2 or 3 of my meals going into yesterday, so I had to substitute them out from the airport. So we got like a chicken salad. We took the chicken out and we put it into our meals. Cashews and no carbs for yesterday, thankfully, so I didn't have to look for any carbs at the airport because honestly they probably didn't have anything too good carb wise because we were still in America and we all know how the food quality in America is. And vegetables from a restaurant, so that was cool that there was a Asian style restaurant that boiled their veggies, no oil, so that was cool. Final product, guys. So the beef mince, rice, vegetables with our seasoning on top. We've reduced our seasoning just because we didn't have enough to bring with us. So we're reducing our seasoning aside from the salt and low salt. That's going to stay consistent. But seasoning wise, it's probably going to be around a 2,000 milligram sodium drop. Yeah, that's completely okay just because sodium, electrolytes and fluid regulate typically within a 24-48 hour period. And AJ says that if we're having trouble with the pumps, then we'll just increase the sodium, simple as that. So it's a lot of anecdotal base, but just like every body is not the same, you kind of have to assess how much sodium someone needs. People say bodybuilding diets are pretty boring. I mean, it's beef, rice, veg, but look how good that looks. Some good seasoning, good sauces, which we don't have with us right now. Can make your food taste good. It doesn't have to be plain chicken, broccoli, rice, even on peak week.
Hey Tristan, good morning, man. Thank you for your check-in update this week. I know in your mind you're probably thinking, oh, like under a 1 pound rate of loss this week, that's a poor week. But honestly, you do look sharper into this week, which is the most important thing, right? Is that the visual look is progressing week after week, and that has been the case for this week. However, we are running into some abdominal distension a tad bit, and that's probably why your rate of loss is under 1 pound. But there's going to be a point in your bodybuilding career where we understand that, or we need to understand that the visual look is not always indicative of your scale weight, and to disconnect from the scale weight as a whole is important.
Athlete updates done, so now we are going to our training session, which we've been looking forward to training here for the past year, and it's finally going to come true now. We're going to Ultraflex in Rotherham. So yeah, just seeing AJ, all the crazy UK guys train here, it's very exciting to be able to train here ourselves. So we're going to definitely make the most out of this session. Going to heat this cream of rice up, just making sure it's 100 grams. And that AJ didn't change the doses. You guys can probably tell we have a lot more life in us now that we have food. Something about eating cream of rice in a bowl just screams celebratory. I don't usually have it in a bowl, but it just looks much more appetizing in a bowl. Definitely gotta buy a bowl like this when we get home. It might sound stupid, but it's the truth. It just looks better in a bowl. A little bit later of a session than I'd like, but we're going to regulate our routine a bit more into tonight. I'm going to sleep earlier just because I do not want to go to Ultraflex when it's prime time I have no idea when that is, but I am not up for training when there is a ton of people, especially in an environment that I'm not used to. But regardless, we're gonna get it in and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna hit a D, I believe it's a deloaded session. It's not really D volume, combination of D volume and maybe D intensity, but it's still gonna be an awesome session. It's gonna be push with some awesome pieces of equipment. 7,500 steps today. So I do think that compared to Washington, it's gonna be a lot easier to hit that step count today just because we're gonna be by ourselves, but that also means that we're gonna potentially just go on a walk if we need to. I think if anything, we're gonna undershoot the steps today if we didn't do the walking, but we're probably gonna have to go on a walk outside, which it is extremely cold. Not extremely cold, but it's a bit colder. But I honestly enjoy weather being like this. Like, I'm not a super sunny advocate. I don't really like too much sun. I like when it's more mellow like this, more peaceful and calm. That's just more my speed. But yeah, that looks delicious in a bowl compared to in a glass kind of container that we usually have it in. Final product, guys. This delicious bowl of cream of rice. Just gonna eat this up and yeah, just Uber over to Ultraflex. Gonna be one killer session. Post push done. Crazy good gym. Obviously it's away from our normal setting at home. So the only caveat is we don't really know anybody and the environment's totally different. I love the environment and the work ethic of the people there because it's pretty much just powerlifters and bodybuilders. But I know I said I don't know anybody, but we did meet Kais as well as Josh too. We're competing against Josh, which was cool to see. He's insanely huge in person, and Kais is taller than I thought in person, taller than me. But we also ran into our first case of friendly mind games, which we've heard about in the past within bodybuilding, but we just never thought it was a real thing until today, where we ran into one of our competitors and they were mentioning things like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the smallest guy on stage tomorrow, and he looked much bigger than me, I like to think. And also they were saying like, oh, you look tired. I am tired. Coming from a pretty long flight, flying across the Atlantic Sea, 30 hours of pretty much almost no sleep. Hell yeah, I'm going to be tired. And you guys probably saw from morning footage that I do look a little bit tired, but that's why we have the rest of the week to freshen up before the show. Tuesday now, guys. Officially 3 days in the UK after yesterday's push session. We're gonna hit pull today, and we're finally gonna meet AJ in person. Who knows, he might be unexpectedly crazy tall, just like Kais was. But picked up a nice big bag of cream of rice for us to use after the season's over. No reason to introduce anything, like I mentioned, anything new yet until after our show season. Almost 30 hours without sleeping, and last night I slept only 3 hours, so I was pretty tired an hour ago and I wanted to sleep, so I asked AJ like, hey, can I take a nap pre-training? But he advised not to, so we're not going to sleep. We're just going to kick it off with caffeine and still be very good friends with caffeine up until our rhythm and internal clock regulates to UK time. Coming from post-poll, we met AJ in person. He is a massive big bodybuilder. We also met Laws too, which was cool. Both very awesome people. I did mention to him that I'm feeling a little bit low energy wise, but I think the confidence boost seeing him in person gave me excites me for freshening up for the show, so that'll be cool. He did mention that we can fill out a little bit more from the chest area, so looking forward to that. Obviously, probably gonna load. It's not obvious, but we're probably gonna load all the way up to the show just to keep things pretty fresh. Surprisingly, I'm not holding too much fluid in my legs from the flight, just from having the feel of heavy legs, but potentially maybe some midsection fluid drop off after we cut down the steps a little bit more. Post upper at Ultraflex, final session completed. I just wanted to show you guys this awesome venue spot for the show.
Start coming this end and then we'll get you weight and height and whatever. Sure.
You're not going to lose 6.5 years.
So we didn't make weight, guys, but as someone said, not making weight is a good problem to have. 6 kilos, so that's 12 pounds around there. There's no way we would have not drinking 12 pounds of water and made weight, so, okay. I did think we were gonna be a little bit more competitive in classic, but it's okay. I get to do bodybuilding and men's physique still, so it's okay. Imagine if I just signed up for this show as classic and I didn't make weight. That would be terrible. This is the stage. Good morning, guys. So it's show day. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous, just because this is going to be the most competitive show we've ever done. And I got a reminder this morning from AJ to just enjoy the show, because would I rather be in a lineup full of competitors that are not the most competitive, or be in a lineup full of really good bodybuilders? And you know, the answer is obviously with really good bodybuilders, because I get to share the stage with really good guys. So regardless of the outcome, you know, it's always a terrible thing to tell a competitor, a bodybuilder competitor, you're gonna win, you're gonna take first, because you cannot control who shows up to the shows, and you cannot dictate the outcome. You know, you can only present the best version of yourself, which is what we're gonna do today. It sounds cringy, cliche, cheesy, but it's the truth, especially for bodybuilding as a sport. It's a very subjective sport, and the thing you should and can do is present the best package year after year after year, which is what we're going to do today. So this is something actually a lot of coaches in LA or in the USA won't give their clients: fluid. So we actually missed our first base coat tan yesterday, because we thought our first base coat was 10:30 a.m. today. We were not used to reading chat log emails, or used to usually using Messenger to read messages, so that's why we kind of skimmed over the email. The most important thing is that we got a time for 9 a.m. today, so 9 a.m. first coat, 10:30 touch up, so hopefully all goes well. We're just kind of controlling what we can control. What's done is done. We missed the tan yesterday, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
There you are. Gentlemen, come in a little closer to the top 5 from hell. This was...
Three, I'd be very interested to see. All the way from America. Wow.
Yeah, I believe he's a
successful season.
I believe he's a client of AJ's.
Yeah,
He's had a very successful season, turning pro in, I believe, obviously men's physique here and classic physique. I think he might have turned pro in bodybuilding as well, but definitely the previous 2 categories. Like we said,
very good.
Physique's fantastic. I think just more time. That's all it is. I believe he's a young individual, so you know, because what he's got going for him, his waist is fantastic. He's got good midsection, so just needs a little bit more of everywhere, really. I think Jovan just has a lot of pop to his physique. Yeah,
he's a natural, isn't he? You know, he's very much just a natural loss, like the only real world. Andrew coming slightly in from the end. I think deserving to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, I think this is his first pro show, I believe.
And I think for him it's just going to be time. You know, you just see the other guys, they just have that like more mature tissue on them.
Yeah, there's a great look about him. You know, it's all there in terms of midsection's tiny. He's got great chest.
Yeah, very good. You know, second, third.
We talk about sort of posing and the importance of it and how hard it is. As a men's physique competitor, your midsection must be so tired after this, because there's so much emphasis here now on keeping that midsection tight.
Yes. Let's see what the judges think, you know.
Where he's placing.
And the top 5 in our pro men's physique are as follows. 5th place. 5th place in pro physique goes to the USA and Andrew Lynn.
Okay, so it's a great sort of first outing for Andrew. Taking 5th.
Yeah, great for him to crack a top 5 medal. So always especially nice after the travel as well.
From the United States of America, Andrew Lynn.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the athlete that competed in men's physique pro was also a bodybuilding pro as well.
Play, you know.
So going straight
Look at that! You would never know those legs were under those shorts.
Got the wheels as well.
Yeah, like we know because we've seen him compete in bodybuilding. But it's kind of crazy, isn't it? A lot of people think men's physique they don't have the legs, but he does. Who's
being
also
coached
on
by
the
Adam
stage.
Power, who's also on the stage
Which
as well.
you know, it's a similar case with Ella and Diana earlier. You know, you've got a coach and a client on the stage, which is, you know, it's hard.
Far left, the German David, just a little bit light in the legs compared to some of the others. Definitely not up top though. Could argue some of the best.
Very good. Very good. Panagotis also holding his own. You know, it's gonna be a tough battle for sure. I think for the
issue with Panagotis here, I think his colour's letting him down a little bit. Because I think he'll probably be in this first call out now. Though I really like the look of him.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to be going to a third.
I kind of knew it was going to go that way for pro men's, so because those guys are older, they have more time in the sport, and at the end of the day, it's an international pro show too, and a lot of people don't take into account that's a different caliber than amateurs. So, you know,
yeah, because now you
don't know bodybuilding.
Now you're like, now it's not even like
the biggest standard.
Like for example, the one in LA, like that's like a regional thing. Like
yeah,
even
it's like the USA standard isn't as high as the European.
Yeah. Yeah, hit somebody. Last bread?
Yeah, this is our good shots.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so that is a wrap for the UK trip. We've been anticipating this for months now, pretty much since the beginning of the year. I would be lying if I said that the outcome, initially at least, was what I wanted or expected, but after it kind of just settled in, you know, I started to realize that I just got to share the stage with some of the best guys in the world. I got to experience year one of what's to be probably the best natural bodybuilding show there ever will be for years to come. So being there for year one is already a privilege in itself. You know, the most important thing I think that I got to see that really helped me be satisfied with the placing was the package that I brought. You know, the placing in my head initially told me, oh, like it was a pretty okay package that we brought to the stage, but taking a look at the footage of people taking shots, I looked awesome. Like I loved how I looked. It's just the other guys were just better. Simple as that. You know, I'm not here to cope or make excuses. I just
need more muscle because those guys had a ton of it and they had, more age in the sport than me. They're all pretty much older. Time, just need time, and that's it. No excuses to be made. Nothing judging wise. Like, I'm very happy with where I placed. So thank you guys so much for coming along the journey. We got a pretty early flight tomorrow, and I will catch you later on in the season when we do our pro debut for LA Worlds.